Just like anything, I think the hardships and just the experience of being ashore for so long and out of what we have been doing for the last 2 years has made this return to the ocean so much sweeter.
One of the things that I've been kind of like learning to grasp as I come to know the ocean a little bit is like thinking of places as neighborhoods, as like each spot in the ocean, even though you can't really tell by looking at it, is a different place. And I think like being on a boat like this, like a sailboat, where you're taking your time and you're being more intimate and close with the ocean is really helpful in that.
A Parent Wins, an adventure of a lifetime. A global expedition dedicated to collecting stories of environmental and cultural preservation while conducting marine research aboard sailing vessel Resilience.
Our entire ride up was pretty quiet in terms of animals. We didn't have any dolphins bow riding. We saw the occasional turtle, but it was really pretty quiet. And then we got to the Hudson Canyon and it was like we had a waypoint set for where we were aiming for. Like, this is the Hudson Canyon now. Literally, as soon as we hit that waypoint, it was just like, oh, beaked whale's over there. Oh wait, Rizzo's dolphin's over there. Oh, Mola Mola, right there. And then there were like basking sharks, like jumping all over the place in the distance. It was wild. It was, the contrast was crazy.
Good morning. That was worth getting you up, huh?
Kira, tell us a little bit about beaked whales. What do you know?
What I know about beaked whales? Well, they're extremely elusive. Nobody ever gets to see beaked whales. This is really special.
You can see where we came in a little bit northwest of our point that we were going for, and now we're shooting out of the canyon. You can see where it ends, kind of in deeper ocean. It's kind of where the shelf and the canyon come together and end in the deep ocean. And it's pretty interesting, the bathymetric sort of detail that you see on the chart. If you look down here, I'll show you. So we came in down the shelf to the Hudson Canyon. This here is the outermost point of the Hudson Canyon. You can see where it ends, kind of into deeper ocean, where it all looks more the same. But this area is what we're interested in. So we're gonna go to the end of the canyon, right about here. And we'll come back up the canyon and come to the head up here, which is 28.8 nautical miles away from us right now, about 30. So, I mean, already we've seen so much life from where we started. That's why you see a loop here, is that we saw so much going on here. And if I zoom in further, you know, we've done a few back pedals, stops, drifts. It's just already been so interesting, but there it is. So we'll go out here and stop, maybe throw the hydrophone in, see what we can hear, and then turn back around. What's also really nice is further in, I think where a lot of these boats are, the fog bank has really built up. So we're gonna try to stay out of the fog.
It's May 26th, Sunday, 5:27 a.m. The sun just came out and the fog finally cleared. I started my watch at 3 a.m. With Trip in the nav station most of the time, looking at the radar while I kept a watch up here. Super foggy, no visibility at all, and about an hour and a half ago we were at the head of the canyon, which was super busy, a lot of boat traffic, mostly fishing vessels. And after that, we kept seeing like little dots showing up in the radar. We weren't sure what it was, and I couldn't see any lights, so it was weird that the radar kept picking up random things. And just now, when the fog cleared and the sun started coming up, I started seeing tens of basking sharks. I've seen probably 25 basking sharks in the last 20 minutes. It's pretty insane, and that explains what we were seeing in the radar. Trip's finally sleeping, he's exhausted, and thankfully we can see again. It's really beautiful. It's our last day here in the Hudson Canyon, and so far it's been an incredible, unforgettable experience. And it's just funny to see so many of the sharks, because we were so scared and worried about all these random dots showing up in the radar. But now I understand what it was. It all makes sense.
So this is the data sheet for our Hudson Canyon trip, and I fixed the printer so that we could print it out. And yeah, it's pretty much recording all of the basic information so that we can know what we saw, when we saw it, where we saw it, how many, what some of the conditions were, and any like notes or like behaviors, anything like that. Yeah.
Well, right, we spent days coming up the coast where, you know, we had sightings, but you know they were spread out or maybe a bit more fleeting. And then, you know, as soon as we hit the canyon, we were having those, not just a lot of sightings, but sightings of animals that you generally don't see. We were having basking sharks, we were having beaked whales, we were having these pelagic dolphins that, you know, up until reaching the canyon we hadn't been seeing. So it just goes to show that something's drawing all this life here that deserves to be protected.
Alejo asked me before the passage, what do you expect to see on the passage? And I don't know, I just threw some things out there, and I included, it would be cool if we could see right whales, and then we did.
We saw what we think was a right whale way off in the distance. And so we just shut off the motor and we're waiting to see if it'll pop again. We have these big telephoto lenses. Maybe we'll get an ID. If we get an ID, maybe we'll be able to share some data. But you know, they're super endangered. There's only a few hundred of them left. So to see one is extremely special, and also two, I think extremely important. If we can make a safe, positive ID.
Well, we know that right whales migrate through the New York Bight, but I didn't think you would see one on the Hudson Canyon. I don't know anybody who's seen one on the Hudson Canyon. So this is not what we. This isn't something that we would have expected.
We're neutral. I'm not moving anywhere. There's also a bunch of whales up in front of us. We're surrounded by whales. We're just headed to the other fork of the canyon. There's a massive whale up ahead of us, but there was one that was just to the left of us that we didn't see. And we saw it and we just pulled in neutral. And we were like, what do we do? And now you just hear the blow.
Oh my God, was that a bee blow?
That was a bee. And we might have just spotted a second right whale. 2 right whales.
Oh yeah, that's a right whale.
Wow. 2.
What?
We just spotted 2 more right whales.
Holy shit. We
Yeah, we did.
just saw
a northern right whale in the Hudson Canyon. Right whales are extremely rare and they are on the brink of extinction. And it's almost certainly due to human causes. So it's amazing to see an animal like that just completely like pristine and untouched out here in this place that we're fighting to protect. And it just kind of like proves why it's important to protect it. I grew up right here. And I remember growing up on the beach and, you know, there were just like little tiny critters and I did not think there was anything here. And to now know that this treasure trove was right in my backyard, it's mind-boggling. I'm so happy, and it just makes me so happy to know that like my home ocean, like the place that inspired me to love the ocean so much, is this full of life.
I mean, I definitely expected to see a lot of stuff on the canyon. I had an idea of the stuff that's out there. I've been out there a few times. We saw a bunch of species that I'd never seen before, you know, and I guess that's kind of the running thing with the oceans. You don't know what you're gonna see when you're out there.
It's very clearly an important area for migration, for feeding. The stark contrast between the rest of the ocean and the Hudson Canyon in terms of biodiversity was so clear as soon as we got there. It needs to be protected. It's so obviously an area that is important to life. It needs to be protected.